Hi guys, it's me, Arwen. Welcome back to the podcast. This is my second episode in Faking It with Arwen Reich. Today I have a guest. Agreed. So no, I don't have any guests today, but I have a few guests lined up, which I'm very excited about. But I thought let me get myself together first before I bring other people on. To those of you listening, hello, where you're listening to me from, your car, your deep clean, your bath. I don't know where else do people listen to podcasts. Those of you who are watching, hello, you will get the beautiful treat of my brother's dog, Anubis. Yeah, today's topic, your worth as a performer, and like knowing your worth as a performer and what creates your worth as a performer. And when I mean your worth, I don't mean monetarily necessarily, because everyone talks about that, but I don't feel like a lot of people talk about how you feel as a performer, which is kind of what this podcast's theme is like the things I don't hear people talk about that often, i.e. the personal terms and turmoil, and we do talk about it, but in personal circles, but I haven't really seen platforms. Please, if there are platforms that do talk about it online, share them with me, because I would love to hear those insights as well. But yeah, this is my opinion as a 20-year-old performer who doesn't know what she's doing but has a lot of opinions and has studied a lot and has talked to a lot of people. Just side note, in preparation for the rest of my podcast, I was speaking to someone at a social event after our job, because I'm currently working at an outdoor theatre as a crew member, training to become an assistant stage manager or a stage manager eventually, hopefully. And they were like, how long was your first podcast episode? I was like, 45 minutes. They were like, you know that a podcast, the industry standard of that length is 12 to 15 hours of research. So I put some more research into this one. Not necessarily 12 to 15 hours, but I put some in. Anyways, let's just get started. I made some points that I want to talk about. I might talk about them. I might not. We'll see. Okay, first one. Knowing your worth as a performer starts with you, because you are your own biggest cheerleader. You are the only person who will go to every audition, every single callback, every single online application, every single everything. You are the one supporting yourself. So your worth as a performer and you're able to your ability, that's the word, to separate yourself from yourself as a performer comes from what you see yourself as. What do you determine your success metric? Is it monetarily? Is it the feeling you leave with? Is it how you work with others? Is it what others leave about you, like work report wise? What do you see yourself as? For me, my worth as a performer, and on the days where I feel down, I will say, I know every single day I go in, I give minimum 95%, maximum 100+%. I know every single day I go to work, I give it my all, I leave it my all. I may not be the best singer, I may not be the most technically stable dancer, I may not be the best emotionally connected actress, but I know that if you work with me, I will bring my best to my ability every single day. And that is my worth as a performer. I know I work hard, I know I listen to critique well, and I know that is good qualities that people want in a performer, so that is my worth as a performer. I also see myself as the person who is constantly trying to improve. I'm constantly doing things outside of what my job requires, i.e. starting a podcast, making vlogs for people, trying to use social media as a tool. For example, I have a TikTok thing now. If you don't follow me on TikTok, go follow me on TikTok, arwen.weich, I think it is, or weichi. I am doing this thing where I try and post every day until I book a cruise ship. My goal is to book a cruise ship. That is something I am doing outside of the normality to try and improve my worth as a performer. So I know my worth as a performer is what I bring to the table work-wise. And it's kind of up to you to decide what your worth is, what on the hard days where you don't book the audition, because let's be real, unless you're Meryl Streep, even her probably, or like Jonathan Bailey or Jonathan Groff, unless you're those people, you're not going to book every single audition. And that's fine, because 90% of the time, it's not you. It's really not you. 90% of the time, your one toe is too big. Bad example, but you know what I mean? Like, 90% of the time it's, oh, she's too tall. She doesn't fit in with the chorus girls. Or, oh, the South African accent is a bit too strong. The rest of the production we're looking for has more of a natural American accent, but her American accent is, you know, it's tiny details like that in a whirlpool of people that make you not book the job. But then the job comes along where you're worth and you are the perfect fit. And then the other person is like, oh, I didn't book the job. So I'm holding my microphone the wrong way around. Anyways, that's the first point. What do you see yourself as your worth? What do you know your self-worth as? How do you keep yourself going on the hard days where you really wanted the job, but you didn't get it? That's fine. That actually happened to me recently. But I think I disassociate, that's the word, disassociated. Oh, no, I didn't. There was a music video shoot I wanted to really do. It was inspired by Jungle's Let's Go Back music video. I filmed a self-tape I found brilliant. Haven't heard back from them. The shooting days are over. I know I didn't book it, but I really, really, really wanted it. And you know what I said? I said, it's okay. They haven't met you in person yet. They don't know your worth. Because it was an online audition. They haven't worked with you. You've been overseas. You haven't actually created a name. The fact that you got to audition and the fact that you were reached out to, because they called me asking to audition, that's already a step up. And that's my worth as a performer. It got me through not getting the job. Anyways, second point. What others see you as. Now, I'm not saying you should have external critique be the basis of what you see yourself as, and what others say shouldn't hold an opinion on you, but it should. Let me explain myself. So, it's all's well that ends well. You think you're I can't swear, hot actress, you're a brilliant dancer, you're like Mariah Carey in singing, you show up to work prepared. You can think that. But if 90% of the people you work with go, don't want to work with that person again, or, they just really aren't that prepared, or they have such a God complex, then maybe you're the problem. And I'm not saying you should go and think about every single day and question every single thing. But if you catch word from more than one person that you're not that great to work with, and this is when your friends should come in handy, because if your friends hear things about you, I feel as a friend, personally, I would share, in a kind way, but I would share so that they can know what's wrong and can book jobs. But then again, don't let what others say of you define you. So if others are saying, oh, she's really not that great of a worker, hey, but you physically can see the evidence that you bring your all, ignore it. If you have physical evidence and you are consistent with bringing what you bring to the table, then your work can disprove what others say. Because there are times where people say things just for the sake of saying things. And I've also found that a lot of the people I've studied with or I've worked with got into such a negative cycle of trying to find the bad in every single person. Like, when I came back, I went to an audition for a musical here. And the way people talked about each other, and I caught myself doing it as well. And I stopped immediately because I was like, this is not what I want out of the industry. And I believe in the fact that You need to be the change you want to see in the world. So if you want the industry to be kinder, you have to be kinder. It's like the whole voting thing, okay? Don't want to get too political because this is just a theatre podcast or performance podcast, but like, yes, you are just one vote out of 100 billion, whatever, but you are still one vote out of 100 billion. Like, you can still swing, like, if it's 50,000 versus 50,000, you can be the 50,001 that changes. So if you start, like, sticking to your gun and making sure that the industry is a kinder place, other people will too. For example, when I was studying, the first 2 years, I was also like a hormonal teenager, so fatigue played a role from that as well. But I was so tired. And every time someone asked me, how are you doing? I noticed like the trend was to say, oh, I'm so tired, but how are you? And I started doing it. And at some point, either my second or third year, I was just like, I'm over this shit. I don't want to hear myself say I'm so tired every single day. So instead of, oh, I'm so tired, of, oh, I'm so sore, I'd just be like, no, I'm good. I had a really nice class today. Or, oh, I'm a bit overwhelmed, but that's fine. I'm going to get through it. Pressure's like those kinds of things. And that mindset helped me so much. And it made sure that I could bring my A game to being my worth as a performer. And that's when I come back to the topic I was on, what others see you as. Moral of the story, don't let others define what they see you as. That's what I think my point boils down to. Critique versus criticism. Criticism is, oh, she's so disgusting to work with. Critique is, you know, she's a brilliant singer, but sometimes she shows up to rehearsal late and unprepared, and it annoys me. Those things, the tangible things, is what you should focus on from others. And if you can resonate with it and see it's true, take it. If you cannot resonate with it and you think it is a lie, then keep doing what you're doing and your actions will disprove what they say of you. So yeah, basically your actions matter. My third point, what is your brand? I think this ties into my first point I made, but your brand as a performer, like what if you were to walk into a grocery store right now and you were selling, I don't know, cake, right? You would walk in and you would say, this is a banana toffee cake. It's first of its kind. No one has ever made banoffee? Yeah, no one has ever made a banoffee cake like this before. Taste it. You have a sales pitch. You have a plan. You can sell it. It's a product. You need to view yourself as a product. You are your product. You as a performer are the thing you are selling. So what is your brand? What is your slogan? What is your sellable item? One eyes. Sorry, that's from the play I'm doing. What makes you different from the other 5,000 banoffee puddings or cakes? That is what you need to remember. Your brand is what you need to remember. Do you think Nike doesn't do it some days? Nike just does it. You need to just do it. That was terrible English, but you need to know what you are selling and you need to stick to it. Those, what is it? Shark Tank? Is the entrepreneur sales things? Those people, they walk up there. They give a brilliant sales pitch. They believe in their product. They stick to their product. You need to do the same thing. You need to know who you are as a performer. You need to know what you bring to the table. You need to know what your brand is. So like, for example, my brand, I am mainly a dancer. I also am responsible. I am a hard worker. I can control myself well under stressful situations. And I have a small eye for detail. In other words, I'm a brilliant dancer. I could make a brilliant dance captain. I could make a brilliant choreographer. When it comes to my acting, I wouldn't say I'm the best actress in the world, but I would be perfect for children's pantomime because I have the ability to go above and beyond. I have, like, children's theatre or pantomime, I think, is where I, like, thrive. I have this ability to not give a fuck about what others think of me and go to the extreme, weird, unpleasant measures to have fun. Natural acting, not my best. I'm working on it because you need to work on your bad skills. But I definitely am like more of a theatre. My singing, shame, she's still a work in progress. At this point, I know I am a solid ensemble vocalist. I would be able to sustain the group idea. I'm able to take notes well. I'm able to apply that to my voice. It's still a journey, and that's fine. That is my brand. If anyone was to ask me, what would you bring to the table? I would give that exact answer, maybe with a few different words, but I know what my brand is. I know what I'm selling. And that is important because you are your own marketer, you are your own CEO, you are your own boss. Like, you have your agent there to help you, of course, but you still need to do the audition. You still need to film the self-tape. You still need to go to set. You still need to go to rehearsal. You still need to bring all of those things. And that's the tea. Fourth, your worth as a self-performer in the long term. And what is more important, monetary enrichment or mental enrichment? So we had this class, I'm going to talk about it a lot probably because a lot of my opinions formed there, called Industry Prep. And in this class, we were given the example, hold on, I need a sip of water, I'm dying. I'm back. In this class, we were given the example, a plumber. Do they wake up, step outside the door and go, come on, jobs, come to me? No. You work hard. You get the jobs. Does an electrician wake up, go to a house, quote, I'm going to need 10,000 Rand for you to fix this DV board. But then the person goes, oh, no. I can't give you 10,000, but I can give you 2,000 and I can spread your name to my friends. No. So people like to dream in this industry because it is a very dream-worthy industry. I am very happy that I have done this and I will stick to my choice 100%. I am very passionate about performing and it definitely is way better than an office job, and I have to remind myself on the daily that I get to perform. But people do tend to take it and run away with it because of the Hollywood actresses and actors and like the fame and the dream and it's okay, I'm doing it for exposure. One day, no, you need to be realistic. It is a career, it is a job, and that does take the magic out of it. But in order to lead a sustainable, mentally, monetarily, physically, everything life, you have to remember at the end of the day, you go home, it is a job. You come lie in your bed, you are Arwen, you aren't, I am Arwen Weich. I come home, I take my disgusting shoes off from the outside theatre, my brother's dog comes and greets me, I have my dinner, I watch my little stupid Netflix documentary because I'm into those recently. That is me, Arwen Weich. The minute I step into the theatre, I am Arwen Weich, the worker, the performer, the crew member. That is something different. And I make sure that if the job I'm doing doesn't monetarily advance me, because I'm still in the starting phase of my job, and my career, I'm only in year 2. Like, basic, not even, like I'm only year 2 of my career. You guys all click off now, you stop listening. What does this girl know? She doesn't. And that's okay. That's the point of this. Anyways, my thing is, if I'm not being monetarily, valued and it isn't increasing me monetarily, am I learning something from it that will help me in my future? Yes. Am I being mentally enriched and still living a livable wage? Yes. Then I'll take it. If you're not earning a livable wage and you aren't learning crucial information, not a life lesson. Life lessons come a lot. But if you aren't learning crucial information that is needed for your career and you aren't getting paid well enough for the amount of work you're doing, don't do it. And that is your worth as a performer. You are worth more than just what is it? Word of mouth. Oh no, no, don't worry. Like you'll be seen in this. It'll be spread. You'll definitely work with people. People who promise you that. Because yes, it is about who you know and what you do. But also at the end of the day, you have bills to pay. At the end of the day, you can't be eating 5-minute noodles. Wow, you can't be eating 2-minute noodles every single day and have enough energy to sustain yourself, to be able to give good performances so that people can come see your exposure. That's what, to have exposure. That comes from working with different people and they spread the word towards each other because everyone knows everyone, especially where I'm working. Everyone knows everyone. It's crazy. Like coming back from overseas, I realized I talked to someone and they've all made connections with each other. And like, I'm like, I never thought you guys knew each other. And they're like, no, 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 we worked on this and this and this together. And everyone remembers everyone's names. So you will be exposed in the industry. You will. It just matters if you can bring your all because you are getting enough money to actually sustain yourself and to not show up stressed and actually be able to like give your limitless attention to what you are doing because then word will be spread. People will want to hire you again. And if you get rehired and hired and hired, the more chances, like even if it's in small roles, the more you get hired, the more people see you because there'll be different productions and that's how exposure grows. So yes, exposure is amazing. Sometimes you can do it if you are being mentally enriched and you are like feel like if it I have given this example to a few people. Physical exhaustion versus mental exhaustion. Every day is a choice between the two. You can be physically exhausted because you decided to go on a walk. Stupid example, but you decided to go on a walk along the beach to mentally enrich yourself. That day you are mentally beautiful, but you're physically exhausted. The next day, your mental state might be a bit worse because you decided to just lie around and do nothing to give your physical exhaustion, like, some rest. And that's what I believe for the very busy people is the choice. I've lost my point. But yes, basically last year when I was in Greece and I was working as a kids club animator, then turned assistant to like the manager. Now this year I'm a manager. So yeah, I was literally making programs and stuff for Greece while at my other job. We'll get to that at a different podcast. Get back to the point, Arwen. Anyways, when I was working as a dancer and a kids club assistant, blah, 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 I would often, people would tell me I'm crazy just because of how I act, but I always bring, I know I'm crazy, but I always bring my part of the salad. I'm always doing my job. I may have fun on the side because I know that I'm stable in it. Different side. I keep on getting side quested. Anyways, people would call me crazy because I would only get to bed at 1, 2 every morning and then wake up at 8. That's still 6 hours of sleep. It's a reasonable amount. But that's because I chose physical exhaustion over mental exhaustion because we worked long hours, 10 to 1 and 10 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 3 to 5 p.m., 8 to 11 p.m. So you basically have 5 hours off in the middle of your day where for the dancers, half an hour is gone. No, wait. Yeah, I would go eat at 7 p.m. Work started at 8 p.m. again. I would go eat at 7 to 7:30 and then 7:30 to 8:30 was makeup and hair time because 8:30 was show promotion. So that's already an extra hour gone. Lunch, I would try and be as quick as possible, but you're decompressing after a day, so I would only get to breathe around 1:40, 1:45. I would go outside, lie in the grass until 2:40, where I had to start going back because at 2:50 we would start doing our club dance. So it's not in a club, it's at the pool. I would stay up after work, go sit by the beach in the darkness, or go read a book somewhere, or go to my favorite bar around the corner, or just take a walk almost every single night. Because after a while, my mental exhaustion of going to bed immediately after work and not actually being able to separate myself from work because yes, you have time off, but you constantly are thinking about work and the time off because it's such short spans, and the minute you relax, you have to go back to work. I rather chose physical exhaustion because after a while, the mental exhaustion was making me physically exhausted as well. So I would rather have less sleep and have enjoyed my time after work with no time crunches. And that's what basically my point is. Like, is it going to mentally enrich you? And is it going to, like, make you a better person so that you can sustain this lifestyle? Because it is a rough lifestyle, this career is not for the weak. It's very hard. It's grueling hours. Like I said, I was doing my other job at my other job last night. Like I was preparing for Greece at the theatre I was working at in the middle of the show when I wasn't actually busy doing something for the cast. And I turned to my ASM, and I was like, I was just doing my other job. And she was like, same. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifices, but it's so worth it. Maybe we're all delusional. Okay, let's see what else I wrote with. Oh, the feelings you leave a job with and your worth as a performer. So, let me say this. There was once a corporate gig I did where I had to teach a line dance. It was half an hour. I was getting paid like 600 Rand for it, I think, which is definitely like way over the minimum wage in South Africa, and I found it worth it. But remember, we have to pay transport, so it has to be over minimum wage, and we don't have a stable income, so there has to be a bit more paid. Anyways, but I left that gig because they didn't tell me where I was, like the location of it, until like 5 minutes after the thing was supposed to start. I knew the rough area of it. I didn't know the house address, so I still had to get there somehow. I got there. It was awkward. I didn't leave feeling good. So I wasn't monetarily or mentally enriched, and I didn't leave feeling with a good feeling. However, like the place I'm working at now, we are getting paid decent amount, not as like necessarily 12-month a year sustainable amount, but that is also because it is a training program. But I leave every day with such a feeling of joy and goodness and just fuzziness inside that it's worth it, and I know I'm training, so it's fine. And yeah, you have to make sure whatever you're doing matches your worth. So if you are leaving a job not exhausted, because exhaustion comes, but like exhausted in all facets, like physically, mentally, spiritually, holistically exhausted, and you are leaving like with a dirty feeling almost of having to shower, like if you're leaving stressed every single day, not because of your own boundaries, but because there's so much pressure on you externally that is unnecessarily, then it's not worth you as a performer. There are certain people who don't match certain environments, and that's fine. That is why even in a 9 to 5, you have an accounting, a sales, a marketing, a HR. You have so many different departments, and people tend to forget that performing isn't a one-size-fits-all, and different people suit different styles, and that is so fine. Because there are such limited opportunities, especially in South Africa, not limited, but there are definitely less opportunities in South Africa than in America or Britain, which is also a blessing at the same time because there's less competition. Because like I worked with a lot of British girls, and they like every audition they've described sounds like a nightmare to me because it's just an open call. Yeah, here we have smaller auditions where like you get pre-selected and stuff, which I appreciate because you're wasting less people's time, petrol, money. But if you aren't leaving the job with a good feeling, then, I mean, people switch careers all the time in their office jobs. I've heard, like, so many people that work office jobs. Like, my brother's girlfriend just changed companies, and she's specializing in something now. She found what her one-size-fits-all is. People tend to forget in the performing arts that you can change your departments. just because it's what you're known for, it doesn't mean it's right for you. You know, if you are crushing yourself, like if you are taking a toll from the job you are doing and it's not fixable, maybe you need to look into a different department. Like if you are mic checking, for example, you can start, I don't know, instead of mic checking, start learning to sound mix. Things like that. You can always try and change the details to make it suit you more. Just an example. I don't know what I meant with this next point. Your product, am I maintaining it? Let me just yap and see if I end up on my point, because I did write this down at some point. Oh, no, okay, I understand. This is kind of going back to the other point I was making of what others think of you. And it's, your brand, your product, whatever, is every action I am taking every day that I am stepping towards my future goal. Is it maintaining the product I'm trying to set for myself? So yes, you are who you are what you eat. Namaste. But also, you can try and change your product into something you want. It has to still be rooted in an original source, and it still has to be authentic, but you can slightly alter your product to make it more suited towards what you want. So your worth as a performer is in knowing what you are and are you sustaining it. Is like, for example, me yesterday, I came to work and I was utterly shattered. We had a very stressful day before that. It had rained the night before. The set was lifting because it's an outdoor venue. The set was lifting. We had schools coming around, touring the backstage, and then we had an hour and 45 minutes to set up an entire backstage, set up a stage where we normally, if our show starts at 8:15, we come at 4:30. And even then, I'm like, yo, okay, it's hard work, but we're fine. We only had limited time yesterday, the Monday, today is Wednesday, Monday. So I came to work Tuesday and I was shattered. I still did my thing. But now I've realized my product of working 95% may have slipped slightly yesterday. So today, in the morning, I'm going to take the morning. I was meant to take the whole morning off, but then I got inspired to film this podcast. So, whoops. In the morning, I'm going to rest. I'm going to reset, do what I need to so that I can show up to work, maintaining my product. Hard worker, cool, calm, collected under like stressful situations, because if I'm stressed, I know I can't make good decisions and I can't manage people and expectations. So I made sure I'm maintaining my product. And this is what I was talking about in the other one, is like separating yourself from the job, but also like you have to include yourself in the job because you are your product. So if you buy a stale flour for your banoffee cake, your banoffee cake is going to come out stale. If you are a stale human being because you've been baking in the sun for too long, I don't know where this analogy is going, but if you are a stale human being and you can't successfully make your banoffee cake, which is you need to fix that and you need to maintain your product. So if you are, let's get away from the hard work example. Let's say you are a brilliant singer. If you are drinking every single night and smoking every single night and you wake up in the morning and your lungs sound crunchy AF and you can't hit that high whatever note anymore in rehearsal, live your life, enjoy your life, but maybe tone it down because your flour is cakey. Your flour is cakey, wow. Your flour is stale and your baking powder is clumping together. So you need to fix that. And that isn't maintaining your product. If you know you are a strong dancer who can hit things with control, fine. One day you can wobble, amazing. 2 days. Everyone has bad days. Females go through, menstrual cycles, which does affect our balance. That's fine. But if you're noticing it's a trend, go back, start strengthening again. Maintain your product, because sometimes we tend to forget what our product is and we work so much on the side things. that we lose our main product. So you need to shift focus back, sustain your product, and then we can start working on the outside. Because in the end of the day, you can be as whole-rounded as you want to be. But jack of all trades, master of none applies both ways. So you can be a jack of all trades, master of all, as my SM said with the kids. It was so cute. But like, yes, you have to be a jack of all trades in this industry. However, a jack can only still do one trade at a time. And you have to know that the trade that sells you, the trade that is your banoffee cake, has to be like there. And if you're realizing that it's slipping, fix it. Fix it, Felix. Fix it. But in a non-stressful, cutesy, bow tie, coquette way. Life isn't that serious. And every single decision you make won't impact your career, but every single decision you make does impact you. It's a hard balance, and it's one you just have to live to realize. I am definitely still learning the ways, and I might be horribly wrong at some points. And I might in a few years come back and say that point she made was disgustingly wrong. But this is the kind of conversations you have with other performers, and this is the kind of realizations you come to together just now. Put on the internet. How terrifying for me! Okay, let's move on to a new point. But first, I need a sip of water because I've been yapping for like 36 minutes straight. Okay. What fills your cup and feeling enough? So, this is something I personally struggle with, is feeling good enough. I know I bring a lot, and I know I am worthy, but the voices inside of me sometimes tell me I'm not. And I need to know and remind myself and make 1,000 lists throughout productions and stuff about why I'm enjoying it and what is filling my cup. So on a basic level, my basic reminder is I could be working an office job right now. And that gets me through most of the struggles, but sometimes I have to delve deeper. Sometimes I have to remember the 3-year-old who was in her first dance class, who could not point her toes for the life of her, and how much joy it brought me. The 8-year-old that went on stage in the Eisteddfods and won a diploma and felt so happy. Like all the hours I've put in, all the passion I've felt, and all the passion other people feel, because this industry is passionate. It's full of people who want to do good, who want to see the best. And that is what fills my cup and makes me feel like I am enough, is everyone is trying to do their best and everyone is on the journey together. And your worth as a your worth as a performer and knowing who you are comes from knowing what fills your cup and from feeling enough every single time. And let's be real, no one ever knows what the fuck we are doing. Even the Grammy, Emmy, Oscar nominated winning actresses, actors, singers, everything, they are all terrified. I was listening to Actors on Actors, the podcast by Variety last night, and Emily Blunt and I forgot the guy's name. It was also stressful. My tires were like making weird noises, so I wasn't like 100% focused on the podcast. But on the way back from work yesterday, I was listening to it, and Emily Blunt asked the actor, like, with each role you do, like, how do you maintain the fear, like, how do you handle the fear of it, of trying to get a new role? What brings the joy? How do you decide you want to do a role? And he was like, I love that you say fear, because everyone is terrified. If you actually take a step back and you look at every single role, everyone is terrified. Because they all want what's best for the production and they all want what's best for themselves. Let's be real, we're all selfish. It's okay, we are human. We can all be a little selfish as long as our actions don't represent it. In the end of the day, yes, you can be the kindest human being, but your action of like being kind to others is still to make you feel better. But that's okay. That's so fine. Are you as a performer, because remember, you are the one who has to get to work every single day, we hope, and has to apply for all the thousands of things. Are you being filled enough? Is your cup being filled enough? Is your worth as a performer being sustained? Are you feeling enough? Like, are you having the joy that comes from this job? If not, take a step back and try and fix as much as you can, because there are also some jobs, let's be real, this is a very idealistic world I'm talking about, but there are some jobs you do just to fill the bank, because you have rent to pay, you have animals to feed, you have, thankfully not me yet, but you have children to feed, you have responsibilities. So some jobs you do, you go, I hated that, but it's fine. I was actually, so on that point, we had an interview, not an interview, yeah, it was like an interview meeting type thing with my agency, with Hakim Kazim. I think I said his name terribly wrong. And I asked him the question of, because he was talking about the passion and his confidence and those kinds of things. And I asked him, in the jobs that you don't enjoy necessarily, how do you keep that passion alive? And he was like, it's innate, and you have to find the good in every single thing. So let's say you did, let's, for example, now, we had a brief going around about singing a song in American accent, right? I'm not going to book it, so let's just, in theory, I didn't apply for it, so I can't book it. Let's say in theory, or let's make it complete new one. I don't want to get destroyed by anyone. Let's say you are in the vertical series, those terrible TikTok ones. Let's say you're filming one of those and you are just constantly like being mafia's girlfriend, like you're constantly being thrown down and you feel like, oh, this is so annoying, but you have to do it in a British accent and your accent is South African. You are still improving your British accent. That's the joy out of that job. If you hated filming it, it's fine. You still have a British accent. Or it's those things you have to find that will make every job feel good. And that is something I will take from him now. Like this Greece thing I have. Last year, some days, I would have such imposter syndrome that I still had to take care of kids. Like I couldn't just be a dancer like so many of my other colleagues. And I realized I'm good with kids. I realized this is training, because then I got promoted to like be assistant manager. And I realized this is helping me with managerial duties and how to be a better stage manager. Managers in the name, literally. And a better dance captain. So it's fine. Enjoy it. And that's how I got through it. And why I'm going back. Because I found the purpose of it. I filled my cup. I'm feeling enough. Okay. Oh, my toes. It's fine. Anyways. Next point. Your worth as a performer. Fame. A lot of people, me included, thought being famous is the only way to make it as a performer. Kind of true, you have to be well known. People have to know your name in the industry. And people have to not have to, but if you want to live an easier life, people should come to you and ask you to work with you. You know? And that isn't fame necessarily, that's just reputation. But if you look at all the famous people, right, a lot of them, like you as a performer are chasing fame constantly, and then you get famous, and like, what was his name? Not Ewan McGregor, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, biggest like franchise ever for him. And he was drinking, because he is so famous, but there's still a void. So as a performer, you're chasing fame and you're chasing like numbers and you're chasing things, but then you get there and it feels empty. So I've started trying to enjoy the monotonous, to enjoy the every single day, the like stupid vocal exercises I have to do that are boring and repeated, but one day I'll be able to hit the high C for myself. Not for others, for myself. I used to chase fame. That's why I started a YouTube channel in lockdown. That's why I wanted to be an actress. Like when I was a kid, I was a child model. And they would always ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd be like, I want to be an actress. Because I was told that dancers don't make enough money, but I actually wanted to be a dancer. But I wanted to be famous. I imagined my life in fame. And now I hate the idea. Imagine not being able to leave your own door without paparazzi. Like, no thank you. I don't think fame is a good measure of your worth as a performer. Fame can also very easily, like everything you do is under a microscope if you're famous. And fame, honestly, is dumb luck. There are people I have worked with and there are people I know who work their little butts off and aren't famous yet and are brilliant in more ways than one and aren't famous, and that's just because dumb luck hasn't fell their way. If you think we have 8 billion people on the planet, how many famous people are there? Probably less than 1%. So yes, fame brings money, fame brings like this like star quality, I'm untouchable. But it looks, I don't know, I'm not famous, so I don't know, but it looks like a very empty life, and I don't think it's a good measure for being a performer. But that's my opinion. Might be very controversial. Whoa! Might get cancelled. Whoa! It's fine, I'm not famous. Even the dog's green because the dog moved for the listeners. Okay. Final point. Let's try and wrap up the topic. What is your worth as a performer? Your worth is something that you personally ascertain and something you find. It is a journey, and you have to determine what is your metric. You have to know how to sell yourself. You have to know every day you wake up, you go to your job, what makes you different. That is your worth as a performer. It's what you believe and what you are. Everyone is different. Everyone has different things. Everyone finds their worth in a different way. But you have to stick to your guns and you have to know what that is. Yeah, that's all I can say about your worth as a performer. I haven't run out of things. The thing is, it's just me talking to myself. So when I bring more guests, it'll probably be longer episodes because I love yapping with other people. And I love yapping. But after a while, speaking to yourself with yourself and not writing out a script, because I think I don't want to write out a script because then I'm just reading. I want to speak real and raw because I tend to go off in tangents. And then I think I will get more to the point if I kind of Q&A myself live. But sometimes it's hard to Q&A yourself about a point you raised. So yeah, that's all I can say about it for now. Maybe in the future I'll do a follow-up. Maybe not. If you enjoyed the podcast, please do whatever you need to further enjoy it. Subscribe, follow. I'm still trying to figure out how to get on Spotify and stuff. But for now, I'm on YouTube. I hope on YouTube Music as well. Follow my social medias. It's just my name. And I'm going to try and do a podcast weekly. If you are watching, you will notice I have not done my makeup today. Like I said, wasn't meant to do nothing today before work, and it is still too early to put makeup on, hence no makeup. And I just wanted to give my full focus on this topic. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed listening. And if you have any critiques, not criticism, let me know in the comments. It's an open platform. I would love to chat, would love to debate things, would love to hear your opinions. Because once again, I am just a 20-year-old performer who doesn't know what's happening but has a lot of opinions. And I might be wrong, and that's the beauty of it, because being human means making mistakes. Anyways, have a good day, y'all, and keep going, keep breathing, keep performing, keep living. You are beautiful, you are wonderful, and you have worth in this place. And I would love to meet every single one of you. Okay, bye.